How's everybody doing today? Hope everyone's doing great. Today, we're going to talk about goals and achievements. And remember, like I said before, we're going to strive and thrive in 25. So, you know how we're doing this. We're taking this amount of time. Because if not now, when? Let's get this thing started. How's it going, everybody? Hope everybody's doing great. Today, I wanted to talk goals and achievements. And I wanted to talk about that in the sense of, at least in a way that I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about it. So I got two good examples. The first example is actually with my first video, the first video I ever put out. So I think I kind of went into that a little bit in a previous video. I don't know if I went fully in depth with it, but that's the first example I have. So what's crazy is with that first video that I put out, which I think the video is great. You know, if you guys got any feedback, feel free to share that with me. But with that first video, it was crazy because I remember, like, I was in there, and you know, it's the first one, so the first time I'm ever gonna do this, you know, I gotta be set up and everything. And right when I'm gonna go do it, like just to hit record, I was nervous. You know what I mean? So I had kind of like had to set myself out a little bit, but it was crazy because I thought once I was gonna really, you know, take that first step and really get this going, that I was just gonna be able to hit record, boom, and knock it out. And it wasn't like that. You know, I was real nervous. Like I said, I was real nervous at first. I was just like, and it just tripped me out too, because I was like, I was thinking to myself, why am I nervous? Nobody's here with me. Nobody's in the room with me. Like, it's just me in here with all my equipment and everything, and all I got to do is hit record and go. And that's what tripped me out, was like, nobody's here. Nobody's watching me. Like, what kind of stage fright can I have if nobody's here watching me? You know what I mean? So that might be a little nerve-wracking as well. But, you know, I finally got to it and just said, you know what, I need to get this done. Hit record, boom, knock out the video. The only thing with that though was that first video that I recorded. So the first video I uploaded isn't the first one that I recorded, if that makes sense. So the first one I recorded, I had this microphone that I had connected to the camera. And that microphone was one to where there was like a little switch on the side where you went one way, and I think it was for like a cell phone. So if you had it hooked up to a cell phone, and you had it the other way, and that would be for a camera. So I had that microphone plugged into the camera, and everything was hooked up, everything was working great. But I noticed that once I went and hooked the camera up to my computer, and I went to pull the video up, video came up perfectly fine. No audio. There was absolutely no audio to it. And I was like, what is going on? Like, why is there no audio? So I went back and I checked that switch. That switch was for cell phone, not camera. So because of that, that video was pretty much a waste. You know, and I think if anyone's seen my first video, if you guys haven't, go check it out. But if you've seen it, I think that video came out good. The thing is, the first one that I had made, the one I had to delete because there was no audio, I think that one came out even better. So that's why, like I mentioned before, that when I do these videos, I don't have anything rehearsed. I don't have this stuff written down. I don't have, like, I kind of go over it a little bit before I do the video, like a day or two or whatever. But you know, I think about it, and I'm going over it. Okay, what am I going to say? How am I going to say it? And you know, I think about all that stuff, and I'm kind of going over it as if I'm doing it either in front of a camera, or if I'm doing it in front of people. So, you know, to kind of get my mind in the right space, so that once I do the video, once I hit record, boom, I knock it out. So that first one, again, it was the same thing, but because there's no audio, like, I'm not gonna have anything. And then I didn't want to go and like figure out what I was trying to say and dub it. So I was like, you know, that would have been difficult right there. So I was like, you know what? Let's get rid of it. Let me get it going. Let me try this again. Second time was a little bit easier. I wasn't as hesitant or nervous or anything. I was like, cool, I got the first one out the way. This one should be easier. I already know what I'm gonna say. Boom, hit record. The only thing is, when I started going and I started talking and everything, I got to a certain point where I kind of lost my train of thought. So, for example, when I was saying what I'm saying, you know, going about, and then I was just like, and I paused for a second, but I paused just long enough to where, like, I was like, nope, can't do it. And I had to go and delete it because I completely lost my train of thought, and then everything that was in my head that I was speaking about and everything was out the window already. So because then I started thinking about it, and I'm just like, nope, can't use it now. I gotta go and delete that one. That was the second video. So then after that, you know, I did watch the video and was like, okay, that's good stuff. It's still strong, not as strong as the first one, but still strong. And then I went and did the third one. So that video, that first video I have out, that's actually the third recording of that video. Again, there's moments where I'll have those, there's times where I'll have those moments where I might lose my train of thought or whatever. I kind of pause and I feel that pause is too long, and then I'll go back, check it, delete it, start over. And it does make it a little more difficult in that sense, because what you're saying and everything, like all that stuff's not going to come right back to you. You know what I mean? Like if I had a little teleprompter right next to my camera or something, or I had, something like, I don't know, a whiteboard or something like right there on the side of it, boom, I can read that, read those bullet points, read whatever it is that I put on there, or teleprompter. I know there's teleprompter apps out there that'll work with your phone or whatever. Boom, that thing will start scrolling, and then you can just read from there. I don't like to do that, because I feel when I'm talking to you guys and when you're saying it like, and it was just coming from the head, I feel it's more authentic that way. So when you're reading it, to me, there's a lot of people, and I'm not trying to hate on anybody or anything, but there's a lot of people who sound a little more monotone when they're speaking. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, so today what we have for you is, you know what I mean? They sound real monotone. And then they're not as, like I've said it before, I'm very like visionary or whatever. Like I use my hands a lot. I notice, you go check out all my videos, you notice my hands, are moving all over the place, because I'm an animated person. There you go, that's the word I was looking for. So because of that, my hands are always in motion, you know what I mean? So again, when you're reading something, it's just like this, you don't know what to do with your hands or whatever, especially if you don't do it a lot. You're not up on stage, you're not doing this on camera a lot, then you kind of don't know what to do with your hands. You might be playing with your hands, like, I don't know, down here, rubbing them, I don't know, doing something. Some people say get something like a paper clip or something to move around your hands, kind of eases up the nervousness and stuff. I'm not worried about that. I'm animated when I speak, so I'm not too worried about any of that. Anyway, so I'm like that, and I don't know, like I said, when it's coming from just straight from your head, everything to me sounds more authentic. I used to work where I'd have to go knocking on doors and talk to homeowners, and I remember doing that. There was always this little script you had to follow, you know what I mean? So I would read it and I'd try to have it memorized, so that once I'm ready, you already know what to say. You just go knock on the door, they answer, boom, you're gonna say what you're gonna say. After a little bit, I stopped going off of that. Like, I knew the main points that that script was trying to get across. So I just tried to keep that in mind. It's like, you know what, I read it and I'm like, I'm just gonna do this my own way. I'm just gonna say this as if I'm saying it, so I don't sound monotone. I don't sound like a robot. I don't sound like I'm reading from a script, because my whole thing on that was, if you sound that way, then people are, no one feels it. No one really, you're not gonna get anything out of it from whoever it is you're speaking to. So that's why I don't like to do any of that, and I just like, again, I like to be authentic. So that's why I do it this way. I may get to a point where I start either getting like memorizing, like writing down what I'm gonna say, and just have these bullet points of what I need to talk about, and then just writing down like that, but not write down everything I'm gonna say. So I might get to that point, but right now everything's straight from the head. So again, in order to do a retake, it's not gonna be the same, or a third or fourth, you know what I mean? So I just try to one take, boom, done, edit, upload, do what I gotta do. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So that third one was done. I liked it, did my edits and everything, and then it came down to going to actually put that online. Again, I've talked about how, I think it was 2019 when I originally got the idea of like, hey, you know what, I want to speak. And then it was last year when I actually put that into motion and started doing stuff. My first videos are from last year, in 2024. So again, once I took those steps, started doing it, now this is the first time where I have to hit publish. Everything's done, I'm on YouTube, and boom, I gotta publish it. And right there, I was thinking in that exact moment, right before I hit click publish, I'm thinking, hey, like, this is it. Once I click that, it's out there for the world. Everybody's gonna see it. So that, I was like, in a way, that was kind of getting me a little nervous. Cause I was like, dang, I'm finally gonna be out there. People are gonna finally listen to me and hear what I gotta say. And some people are gonna feel it, some people aren't, or whatever the case may be. But again, I was a little nervous, and I wasn't as nervous as that first video when I was gonna record, but I was still a little nervous. Like, hey, this is gonna be out there. I can get known. People are gonna start watching me. People are gonna start liking, commenting, and doing all this stuff, and they're gonna have expectations of me. You know what I mean? Haters, closet fans. Like I like to call them, closet fans. Those people are gonna come out. They'll eventually probably come out of the woodworks like, oh, I don't like him for this, that, and the other. Anyway, I'm starting to rant. So I was a little nervous just to click publish, because I'm finally gonna be out there. And normally, you've heard the saying, I'm sure, that once it's on the internet, it's on the internet. There's no going back. Like, you can't delete it. It's once it's on the internet, it's on the internet forever. So anyway, I was a little nervous. Finally did it. Just click publish. Boom. I don't know. It felt like, and again, because this was a major goal of mine, and at the same time, once I hit publish, boom, that's an accomplishment. I just achieved something. So I felt like, I don't know what it was, like if a weight was lifted off my shoulders. And then at the same time, I felt like, you know what, I'm ready to do another one. You know what, I want to start editing, boom, I want to upload another one. I didn't have any other videos at the time. It was just the one, because I was doing one at a time. So I didn't have anything else. But I felt like, I felt like I just conquered the world. Like, I'm just, boom, I did it. I felt like, let's keep going. Let's do another one. I want to make another video right now. I want to edit one right now. I want to put another one up right now. Like, I felt like I just conquered the world. And I felt so, like, I guess you could say, like, on cloud 9, you know what I mean? I was just like, I finally did it. I want to do another one. Let's go do another one. I didn't end up doing another one, but that feeling I got of just, I finally did it. I accomplished something. This was a goal that I had set. This was an accomplishment that I had ready, and I was waiting to achieve. Like, it was a major achievement for me, because I'd never done anything. Like, I've thought about it, and again, I've said it in a previous video, where I've thought about doing this because I got the lighting, got the green screens, I got everything I needed, and I felt like I got the stuff, but I wasn't doing anything with it. So I had the stuff, I wasn't taking that initial step in order to actually make a video. You know what I mean? I had nothing for it. Once I started putting my mind to it, I'm like, you know what? I have the things, I need to get on the ball. Then I went out and got video editing software, got me a computer, got me, mouse, because it was actually a tablet, but it came with a mouse and a little keyboard thing with different accessories for it. So I went ahead and got those, and then I started working on that a little bit. But then, like I said, when I took that initial step, I was like, this is a goal. This is my goal, is to put out my first video. That's an achievement that I'm shooting for. And once I did it, I'm telling you, I felt like, what's next? Let's go. I'm ready. You know what I mean? And I don't think anybody really talks about that. Maybe in sports, I watch a lot of football, if you couldn't tell. I'm sure I mentioned it before anyway, too. I watch a lot of football. Big 49er fan. So I'm sure when these athletes, not just football players, basketball players, tennis players, whatever the sport is, I'm sure these athletes, once they accomplish something like football, for example, when they get into the playoffs, that's a big accomplishment just to get into the playoffs. Not all the teams make it, and some teams don't even make it for a good while. You know what I mean? So, and I'm a 49er fan. We had a big old gap right there where they weren't making it to the playoffs, and I'm getting pissed. I'm getting mad. You know what I mean? So once they finally get there, I'm sure they're just like, oh, we did it. Next thing, Super Bowl. You know what I mean? The Chiefs have been doing it for how long now? You know what I mean? And this year, they're not doing so great. But for even then, just to get into the playoffs, after that long season, to get into the playoffs, that's a big accomplishment. And I'm sure all the players that make it are all excited, like, yeah, the next goal after that is the Super Bowl. And that's only one winner. So that's the whole, that's the whole elimination thing, where you play, you lose, you're out. So the Chiefs have gotten there. Matter of fact, the 49ers have gotten there. And the last time they got there, boom, they reached it. That was a goal, that was an accomplishment, that was an achievement. Boom, we made it. It's also a matter of winning it. So when the Chiefs did it, matter of fact, last year when the Eagles beat the Chiefs, when the Eagles did it, I can only imagine how Jalen Hurts failed. That was his first one. The Eagles, their second one? But Jalen Hurts, that's his first one. Saquon Barkley, his first one. Matter of fact, they did so good, they put Saquon on Madden 25, was it right? 25, 26? The newest Madden game. They put Saquon Barkley on the cover. You know what I mean? So, and even making the cover of that is an achievement. I don't know if that's necessarily a goal, but I would definitely call that an achievement. And that's like, oh man, I just made it on the cover of Madden. What else can I make the cover of? Can I make the cover of Sports Illustrated? You know what I mean? Can I make the cover of whatever other magazine? You know what I mean? So those are big accomplishments. So I'm sure athletes feel that all the time in different aspects of whatever sport it is. And for me, I felt like I can conquer the world. Let's go. What's next? And then the second example I have for you is my website, which I need to go work on that. Anyway, my website, once I got, you know, the fundamentals and all the beginning stuff, the beginning workings of it and all that out of the way, now cool, now I gotta make it. If you go check out my website was all done by me. I had no help on it, maybe a little bit, and mostly in the things that I was putting on there, like the wording and the what is that, like the corrections for that and everything, you know what I mean? So other than that, I had no help. I chose the color scheme. I'm the one who put that all together, that you know, using a template or whatever. But I made that entire website myself. I had pretty much no help. So the reason I'm talking about that in this sense is because that one took me a while. That one wasn't done. I didn't finish that one overnight. That one took me a minute. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to get my color scheme. Okay, what colors do I want to use? This is the color of my logo, so let's go with these colors. Boom, now I gotta figure out where those colors are gonna go, how they're gonna go. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna put in there and the wording and how am I gonna word it. And you know, it all has to look good to where people are gonna go check out the website, you know what I mean? You go check out any website, go look at how it's configured, go look at all the wording and the type of words they use and everything. Like everything's pretty sophisticated, you know what I mean? Everything set in a way that makes it user friendly. Well, some of them, I don't think all websites are like that, but a lot of them are, you know what I mean? They got to be user friendly, so you know how to navigate, you know where to go. If you want to delete an account, make an account, you want to go add people or do this, you know, whatever it is you got to do on that website, whatever website it is. You know, nowadays they got apps for it, which luckily mine came with an app, so you know, they got apps. A lot of people are going to get on their phone, they don't want to go to the actual website, they'll pull up the web version or the app version of it or whatever, you know, the phone version. So doing that took a minute, because like it's crazy how much actually goes. I didn't realize what goes into making a website. You know what I mean? And I didn't do it from scratch. I used a template. Cool, just a template I'm gonna go with, and boom, that's what I went with. Found pictures, whatever. You know, I did it all myself. But I didn't realize what went into making a website, the hours and everything that goes into making it. So any web designers out there, anyone that actually makes websites and stuff, like that's your job, that's what you do, and then you sell them or whatever it is you do about that. Because I know when I went and said, you know, that you can get somebody to make it for you and it'll cost this much or whatever, and I was like, cool, I ain't got that kind of money, I'm just gonna do it myself. You know, and then as I get better, or once I grow and I start making better money, cool, now I can pay somebody to, hey, can you do this? This is what I want, this is what I like, and you know what I mean? And I can go about it that way. But so again, props to anybody out there who makes websites, a web designer and all that, because that is a lot of work. I don't know if they have schooling for that. It's something I might want to look into, just maybe something you might want to look into if there is specific schooling for that. I'm sure there is. And if that's something you want to do, hey, more props to you, because like I said, that is a lot of work. You know, and I'm sure a lot of those people who actually make those websites for people are on a deadline, you know what I mean? Like they want the website got to be done by this day, and that's what has to be done. So they got to be working on that. Only, you know, they actually know what they're doing. I didn't. I'm like, okay, how do I change this? How do I change this? How do I do this? What do I do here? How do I, you know what I mean? Like it was a lot of work. But again, back to the main point was, once I'm going and I looked it over, I'm ready to publish this thing. I looked, you know, I tried. As a matter of fact, I did have somebody go and they told me after I published it that, hey, I noticed this. Can you go check it out and fix that or whatever? And I went, or either that, or I think I was on the phone version of it, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute, I don't like that. And I actually went back and changed it. So I actually got to go make some updates to that, because I haven't did that lately, but I need to. Anyway, again, when I'm there, everything's done and I'm ready to go. I'm just like, you know, I'm waiting and like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, this is it. Just like when I did that first video, it's the same thing. Because again, I'm gonna publish something. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, this is it. Once I click publish, that's it, it's out there. You know what I mean? So again, I was a little nervous, but then I was like, cool. Let's get it. And I don't know, like to me, it felt like almost as if once I do this, I'm more legit now as a motivational speaker, because the video's cool. Now I got more videos, you know, and everything's working now. It's way easier to make videos now as compared to the first time, you know what I mean? Get the lighting, cool. I already know where I want them all, set everything up, go hit record, and then boom, go from there. Anyway, a little nervous, like I said, and I finally did it. Just click, boom, now it's out there. And again, I had that same feeling. I was just like, I did it. Now, what's next? I want to, and it's funny because how I said with achieving and accomplishing my first video and actually publishing that, I felt the same way with this. Only again, it's a lot of work to make a website, but what's funny is when I did the website and I actually published it, I was like, oh, I want to create another one. Like, let's go. Again, I felt like I was on top of the world. Like I just conquered the world, and what else can we do now? What's the next task? What's the next goal? What's the next achievement? What is the next thing I'm gonna go out and do to get this feeling again? You know what I mean? I guess you could say it's almost kind of like a little high where it's like, once you get it, cool. What's the next thing I gotta do to get that feeling again? What's the next achievement? What's the next goal? What's the next accomplishment? What is that next thing that's gonna get you to feel that way again? To where maybe if it's with another video, a video that I don't know that I'm passionate about what I do, if you guys couldn't tell. But if it was another video, say I make another video, and that one you can tell I'm super passionate about, and I'm just I'm yelling and I'm all over the place because of how passionate I am about that specific video. It could be to where if I do a video like that and then hit publish, I'm gonna feel like that again, and I'm gonna go, oh, I wanna make another one. But because I've already been making videos, I already have the setup. Cool, hit record again, get to it again. So with the website, I was like, oh, I want to make another one. Let's go, at top of the world, everything, Cloud9, you name it. And I don't want to make another website because that, like I said, it was a lot of work. But my whole thing is, once you feel that way, like I said, it's almost like a high where what's the next thing I want to do? What's the next thing I'm going to do? What's the next step I'm going to take? What's the next level I need to get to? Where do I need to elevate to in order to get that feeling again? And I'm telling you, if you're chasing that with your goals, your accomplishments, your achievements, all that stuff, if you're chasing that, that's gonna make you wanna, if you're doing videos like me, that's gonna make you wanna put up more videos. If you do, I got a friend who just recently started doing food reviews, and I told him, I was like, hey, get on it, proud of you, keep it up. I was like, hey, matter of fact, I wouldn't mind tagging along with you on some of those, you know what I mean? But I'm over here encouraging him if that's something you want to do. So for food reviews, if that's something you want to do, find out that thing to where you eat. You're not just gonna eat unless you want to do it live. I don't know of anybody who does food reviews. I think I do follow a couple people, but I don't know of anyone that does food reviews that do it live. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I just ordered this, I'm gonna eat, and then you just watch them eat the whole time. No. A lot of them, after they go to whatever restaurant, taco truck, wherever they go to do their food review, I'm sure, they have their whole thing. It was like, okay, come along, join me. Like, come on, I ordered this and this, and they probably double out of it too, I think. But they go and they eat all the food, or I don't know what they finish, what they don't, what they take home, or not, whatever. But once they have the video and the different, because I believe they might take it from different angles too. But once they have that video, then it's a matter of editing that video. And I don't know who does it from the phone, video editing software. I don't know anything like that because I don't do that. But for those people, like my friend, he might get to a point to where maybe, because he already did one food review, he might, once he uploaded that, he probably felt that way too. And he's like, hey, you know what? What's the next restaurant I'm gonna go in? And now you gotta do research, okay? Boom, there's this one. I've been to this one, haven't been to this one. I've heard a lot about this one. You know what I mean? Like, there's homework to do on that. Now you got to figure out where you're going to go, what you're going to eat, what you're going to order, you know what I mean? And you got to build your platform that way. So shout out to him, by the way. His name is actually also Carlos. But shout out to him. He's on TikTok, Big Bear 559. Go check him out. He has hopefully he puts out more, and then you guys can go start following him and check out his food reviews all right here in Fresno, California. Anyway, again, it might get him to where maybe he felt that way when he uploaded that first video, and he's like, oh, what's the next restaurant? What's the next thing I'm gonna go eat? I don't know. Or maybe once he starts doing it more and more, he'll probably hit a restaurant where he's like, dude, that restaurant was fire. And then he's gonna get that feeling. Or you know what it could be too? It might be the same thing with me. I don't know because I haven't got there yet, but it could be too. Once he's putting out these videos, once you start putting out videos, you're not going to get hits right away. You're not going to get all these likes. You're not going to get all these views, thousands and millions of views and everything. Matter of fact, I brought up Tom McDonald before. I noticed when he puts out a video, when I check out the views, it's within, I don't know, a short amount of time, thousands of views already, hundreds of thousands of views already. And it trips me out, but he has that following. So once you get that following and people know about you and they're waiting for your videos, now you're gonna be getting those views, those likes, those comments, and all that. You know, the people subscribing, people sharing it to other people, and like someone else is gonna see who's never seen your videos, like, hey, you know what? I like that. Let me go subscribe to him. You know what I mean? And that's how that works. So you're not gonna get all that stuff. Like it's not gonna happen overnight. You know what I mean? So that's one thing. I'm not there yet, but I do plan on getting there, where eventually I'm gonna get all those thousands of views, thousands of likes, or better yet, I'll say reactions, because you're gonna have some people who's like, you know what, this video is crap. They might put a bad comment up there and then dislike the video or whatever. You know what I mean? From those closet fans. And I'm not tripping on that. Why? Because that adds more stuff to what you're doing. That's gonna add that extra comment. You could have had 50 comments, and then because a few of those were people just talking crap or running their mouth about you because they don't like what you're doing, they don't like what you stand for, they don't, whatever it is they don't like about you, say they don't like about you, that's added comments to your videos now. That's added reactions, even though they hit the dislike button, that's added reactions to your videos. That's more hits on your videos. For some reason, and I don't understand it myself, is when people say they don't like so-and-so because of the content so-and-so puts out, why are you guys still watching it then? That's what I say. They're closet fans, isn't it? They don't hate it. They probably, I don't know, whatever reason for their hating, I don't know. It doesn't bother me, but that's why I call them closet fans. Your closet fans are another way that's going to get you up there. There's another way that's going to get you those views, those reactions, those comments and stuff, because it's added stuff to what you're putting out, and that's going to help with that algorithm. That's going to help with those reactions you're getting, and that's going to help your videos blow up even more. Some of them might even say, hey, share the video and saying, hey, you know what, I don't like this guy, check it out, what do you think? Hey, I don't like this person, check out the video. And they're sharing it, not realizing that they're adding more views, they're adding everything more, you know, it's just adding to your stuff. Which, anyway, I'm going off on a rant there. Like I said, for anybody doing anything you're doing, you have goals. You know what I mean? I have goals. I have these different things that I want to accomplish, these different things I want to achieve. And I know that if I stop doing this, I'm never going to achieve those goals. I'm never going to achieve the things that I'm trying to achieve. So for you, I'm telling you, if you're just starting off, whether you're a YouTuber, TikToker, whatever it is you're doing, you're not going to blow up overnight. Give it time, wait, keep doing it, stay at it. And I'm telling you, when you get that feeling, you're gonna know it. You'll know it. Once you maybe publish your first video or do a website or whatever it is you do, you're gonna get that feeling like you just I conquered the world. What's next? And I'm telling you, that's a great feeling. Keep chasing that feeling, because that's what's gonna get you to keep putting out content and keep doing it to where you're finally gonna grow and you're gonna reach those levels that you're trying to reach. You're gonna reach those accomplishments you're trying to accomplish. You're gonna reach those goals and all these different things that you're trying to attain. You're gonna be able to get those. You have to stay persistent with it though, because once you stop, everything stops. But it all starts with that first step. My first step wasn't even getting all the equipment that I have, because I was getting it and then putting it away and it was just sitting there. So the first step for me was actually making that first video. And like I said, that first video that I made, that I put up, was actually the third take. But even though it was the third take, that was the first step. And that first step led me up to this point right now, where I'm making this video to put out for you guys. And that's gonna also lead to the next video I put out for you guys, and the next video I put out for you guys. And then, boom, you guys already know where it goes from there. So I'm gonna stay at this. I got goals. I got all these things that I'm trying to achieve, I'm trying to accomplish and everything, and I'm gonna stay at it. But I'm telling you, once you feel that, chase it and keep going and don't stop. Because even if I don't feel it again, I'm still chasing it. It still gives me something to fight for. It still gives me something to shoot for. You know what I mean? So stay at it, and don't let no one stop you. Don't let nothing stop you. Get it done. Do it. And like I said, those closet fans, if anything, they're gonna help you out. So go like, comment, share, all that fun stuff. You guys already know what to do, and you guys know how we're doing. We're taking this